It seems that there's a rejection of two great traditions currently. One is, of course, the Judeo-Christian worldview, which is grounded in the special revelation of the Bible. But the other is also of sort of the Western canon of philosophy and literature, going back to the Greeks, that this is also sort of rejected in our times, or maybe has been for a while. Do you think that's a correct sort of assessment of the situation?
Yes, at the rise of modernity, if you think about this from a philosophical viewpoint, philosophy has its own subject matter, three major branches: reality, knowledge, and ethics, or metaphysics, epistemology, and ethics, where we begin from the foundation asking what is real, and then move on to how do I know what is real, and then finally, how should I then live based on what I know about reality. We began with first philosophy, with metaphysics. Once you move into the modernist period or the Enlightenment period, you begin with Descartes, who was a Christian believer, but he got us off on the wrong foot. I think therefore I am, he was that guy, the father of modern geometry, but he began with epistemology and he began with skepticism, so that in almost all introduction to philosophy textbooks today, you have an introductory chapter on skepticism. And so Descartes began with skepticism that launched the Enlightenment, and he wanted to get us to the point of absolute certainty, divorced from, say, revelation. He wanted to start not based on authority or with ultimate reality, but to start with reason, human reason in particular. And there became a battle in the modernist period between the empiricists and the rationalists. And at the end of the Enlightenment, it seems that, Immanuel Kant tried to tie the bow and tried to merge the two and failed. And he gave us, you can't know ultimate reality. And so during the Enlightenment period, that is where at least the empirical wing of the fight, I think, had more traction, and we entered into not just, embracing empirical ways of knowing, but it became empiricism and later scientism. The absolutization of science and the scientific revolution happened. And again, almost all of the major founders of the subdisciplines of sciences by name were Christians too. But it began to drift even from those moorings, and you leave the modernist period to get to the postmodern period. And those people now were beginning not only to, agree with the modernists against maybe the rejection of metaphysics, or at least not starting there, but they even said touche to epistemology or theory of knowledge. Whereas the modernists said we can know truth, but it was really only empirical truth, scientific truth.
Natural facts, right?
Yes. The postmodernist comes along and says, we agree with you against metaphysical truth, but touche, same thing with science truth. All knowledge is but a social construction of reality. And so you get relativism. And it almost follows those three branches at the same time that those periods are changing as well. What is real? How do I know what is real? How should I then live based on what I know about reality? And the university has been divided up into two camps, into the hard sciences and into the humanities and social sciences, who wants to try to be a hard science. And of course, after the Enlightenment, everybody wants to claim that their view is a science. Well, now, in the recent times, that whole narrative is being thrown up in the air as something that's Western, colonialist, logical fashion.
Science itself is put under the microscope, so to say.
Yeah.